Hello, everybody. Welcome to the TNT Podcast. My name is Darren. We have Sam and Tuna with us today. How you going, fellas?
Good.
I'm doing good.
Tuna's got a brand new microphone in front of his face. Now it only slightly looks like a cock, but that's okay. We won't go into that. But he just shuttles away across. He went that way. So another big week in tech, guys. How's everybody feeling about their week and just in general? Sam, what's been happening in your world, buddy?
Well, we just celebrated Happy Treason Day for all my buddies in the UK. You know how it goes. And there's one right there.
There's Dad.
Oh.
Yeah. Happy Treason Day, you ungrateful colonials. Yeah. So.
Wow.
Yeah. And I always say it's only treason if you lose. So.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So no. Other than that, it was fine. No, I just had I had a busy weekend. I work a second job, so actually I was working a second job in the force, so it was kind of cool.
Tuna, did you take your obligatory smartphone photos of the fireworks?
You know, it's funny. I watched them last night, and my wife has a Pixel 7, and she was snapping pictures. I'm like, I am not doing that this year. I can't do it. I just can't do it.
There was a lot of talk on Twitter about people posting fireworks photos, because it happens a lot.
It does.
A lot. I think, you know what I think it is with fireworks photos, and I always found it funny, is that we don't see fireworks very often, so it's almost like seeing a shooting star, right? Where it's like, here is something that we don't normally see in the world, something bright and shiny. And I mean, you know, people are attracted to bright and shiny things anyway, so there's always that. But we're looking at them and going, oh, I want to capture this moment for me to look back at. When was the last time you looked back at a fireworks photo?
Well, it's interesting. You're right. I never have, but we were at these fireworks, and we were under like a grandstand. We couldn't see them. So we actually went down closer, and it was like way over our head, like ash was hitting our head. And it would have been great to take pictures because it seemed like we were right next to them.
Yeah, right. Oh, fair enough. Makes sense. Dan, do you guys do anything to celebrate Independence Day over there? Or is that a typical American bullshit?
I doubt they celebrate a holiday in which we declared independence from their nation. I don't think they're going to celebrate that.
It's not something we celebrate. No.
They might celebrate that they broke away. That you guys are gone.
They're not associated with us anymore.
No, at the time, they were a bit pissed off
about the creation of America, which is a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. They were a little bit irritated.
Which I actually believe, by the way.
It's 247 years. Too soon? It's too soon?
Listen,
too soon. Yeah, too soon.
I'm from two countries, Canada and Australia, which have our colonial overlords over there. So, I'll just bow down and...
Right. Yeah, you haven't managed to get away yet.
Yeah, I highly doubt that...
Yet.
Yeah, I highly doubt that they're like doing stuff on the 4th of July in the UK when it comes to fireworks and stuff and barbecues.
A little side note.
Less fireworks about
so, back in 2000, Australia voted to become a republic. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but we actually had a referendum to become a republic. I thought after 100 years of, being under the British thumb that was going to be it. Australia's going to break free. Nope. Decided to keep them. I guess it was too much work for Australians to kind of try to put together a whole new system of government, and we kept our friends over in the UK.
The system works.
And now you're in a country where you can't get half the phones that people in the UK can get.
Oh,
or the US.
Yeah, this is true. It's funny. This morning, I get this email from Pixel Superfans. And I'm like, here's $200 off.
I got that too.
At the Google store.
Yeah. I got 20% off. Oh, no.
Yeah, couldn't use it. Nope, couldn't use it. It's kind of order shit in Canada. Just a little side note. We'll talk about the Pixel Fold in a moment. I've been trying to order the Pixel Fold now. I think I've tried fucking 5 times.
Oh, you're still trying?
Ways.
Still trying.
Every time dedicated. I think I've cracked the system.
I thought you'd given up.
I would think you would just have somebody here just buy it for you.
That's what I thought.
I know. I know.
Maybe I'll just send you the receipt. You just front us the money, and then there'll be an exchange because PayPal does the exchange, and then we'll just ship it to you.
I mean, I can get one for you. It's about $3,200 though. I mean, it's a finder's fee and shipping, and I'm sure Canada has VAT. I mean, they have the VAT tax, all that stuff.
Well, I'll just say this much. Tuna, you may remember this. The last time that I ordered it through the US website. And I thought I'd got it. I thought I'd cracked the code. Days went by.
Oh, I remember this.
Days and days went by. I messaged Tuna and I said, Tuna, I think this one may have stuck. I think this order worked. 10 seconds after I sent that message, I got an email saying my Google Store order was canceled. Within 10 seconds of that conversation.
So I bugged straight to Google, and they heard that, and they said, we need to cancel that ASAP.
Well, listen, I don't know if you guys saw, but I just posted up today a review of the Pixel 7a. And I reached out to my Google Canada friends and I said, hey, I hope you enjoyed this review. How about you try to hook us up with a Pixel Fold? No response.
By us, you mean you, not me.
Well, like my team, I should say. And I got a stone cold no response, basically. It's a simple way to put it. But Pixel Fold. So let's actually take a minute to talk about it now, because it's a little bit of they've had most people that have had them for about a week to 10 days right now. Mm-hmm. So the reception for the Pixel Fold's actually been pretty good. Did that surprise you?
No. Yes.
Damn. Yeah.
Because it's Pixel. Just because it's like every time there's a Pixel launch, there's always something that people are really angry about.
Yeah.
And this time, it doesn't seem to be the case. I genuinely thought there'd be some sort of like big problem that somebody. I mean, even with all the moaning about Tensor G2 beforehand.
So the screen's cracking.
It's turned out to be pretty good. The screen's what?
The screen's cracking. All these like reports of screens breaking on all these units that we keep hearing about all over Reddit and Twitter and all that.
I haven't seen any of those.
Well, I saw the Ars Technica or whatever it is, their article where the guy had his, and he showed like a piece of speck of dust or something that could have damaged the screen. And he said there's a gap between the frame and the protector.
I did see that.
Yeah.
My Fold 4's got that. I mean, now it's got a little bit of a bigger lip, but I don't know. I've been so wishy-washy on the Fold. I think I've ordered it 6 times and canceled it 6 times.
I mean, other than like certain maybe hardware faults that have been there just from the manufacturing process. I mean, it's Gen 1, right? It's Gen 1.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell, everybody that I've seen that's got one that's been fine. They've been very, very happy with it.
Yeah. I mean, I was surprised by some of the reception from some of these people who got it early. So, like all of these, influencers and tech people that you see up on YouTube, the response has actually been pretty positive. Like, they're saying they have to test things like battery more, but reception of things like the camera has been impressive. Like, people are saying the camera is actually pretty good. They love the form factor, which I knew they would. I knew that would be the big selling feature. I'm curious. I mean, I don't know. I would be curious to see how many units they sell. Because now that the reception has been generally good, does that mean that people are starting to hit the buy button like Tuna?
Well, then they offer super fans all that extra $200 off, 20%. I think they're trying to push it out. Yeah. I don't know what mine was. I looked at it briefly.
Still £1,400 to buy it.
It is. It's still very expensive.
Well, and then you had the OnePlus Fold coming out, and I was interested in it until I realized it was exactly like a Fold, and I like the different form factor. That's what I'm trying to go after.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about like the folding stuff before, but I don't know if you've ever seen that movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix.
Yes,
I don't know if you remember when he takes out the folding phone out of his pocket. It's small. It folds in half, a bit like a mini Surface Duo. Sam, you may have seen this movie. If you haven't seen this movie, check it out. I actually feel like that's what the end point is for foldables. Something that is not a folding screen, but mini Surface Duo that fits in your chest pocket, has a camera on the outside, very AI driven.
But Her is more intelligent than Siri.
Well, that's the issue, right? That's AI.
That's not good.
And it's in everything, yeah.
Everything is more.
And it's Scarlett Johansson's voice too.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's true. That's right. But that has nothing to do with it at all. No.
Listen, if Scarlett Johansson was the voice of ChatGPT or whatever fucking AI we land on, I'm okay with that.
Hey, look, I posted on Twitter that over the weekend I watched The Girl Next Door, and Dan had commented about the main actress in that movie.
Saying nothing. No.
Alicia Cuthbert, is it?
Yeah, that's not why I liked it at all, though.
Darren knows as well.
I know. Oh, I know.
Tell us 24 fans.
Yes. Oh, no. Well, remember, she was on that TV show. I don't know if you guys ever got it in the UK or in Happy Endings. There was a
TV sitcom.
Yeah.
She was also in The Ranch. She was also in The Ranch on Netflix with what's his name. So, yeah.
Also married to a Canadian hockey player. So there you go.
Oh, it's all ruined now.
Oh, sorry, Tuna.
Yeah. So
you can put away your box of tissues, Tuna. It's all good.
Yeah, and to the point of the screens breaking, that let's say they sold 100,000 units.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, the acceptable failure rate is 3% for devices, right? That's 3,000 units.
Yeah.
Right. So and there's going to be probably a higher than 3% failure rate, but it's it'd be different if they had like a 40% failure rate or a 30% failure rate.
Right.
You're buying a foldable phone. You're going, there's other devices. How many people have bought a Samsung device that was faulty, had a bad battery, a screen defect?
So many people complaining about folds, yeah.
Yeah, it's or just anything. Even if it was an S23 Ultra, I've had people that have complained that they've had a bad camera.
Well, it's just like
a screen defect. It happens.
I worked at Honda for many years, and we have quality control. This is before I was doing what I'm doing now. And no matter what you do, might think Honda's the most reliable car company in the world, whether you do or not, doesn't matter. But there's always a few people that get that one car that didn't get caught, and it had a couple issues, and it blows up the whole thing. And like Sam was saying, there's a failure rate, and no one's perfect. The more I talk about,
on a foldable device, it's obviously more understandable. That's an engineering thing that you're going to have probably more failures in a standard slab phone. You're just going to, because the screen folds, and it's got a hinge, and it's got more points of failure, right? So, and here's the thing: it's like I tell people, it's like, okay, if you got a Fold 4, right, or as a Pixel Fold, and it broke, and they said, well, tough shit, you're out on the money, and we're not replacing it, and we're not doing anything, I would be then pissed off. If I had a Fold and it broke after a week or two, or a month or two, I would take it back to the carrier or contact Google and replace it. I'm sure there's warranty, and then you can also get insurance, right? If you can leverage an insurance plan, and maybe you pay a deductible, but it's just the way it goes. I don't think if anybody gets stiffed on this, then I can understand being pissed. But if they're going to replace the unit or refund your money if you don't want a replacement, you shut up. You just want to complain to complain.
That's true.
Google's pretty good with their customer service. I don't know what it's like in the States, but here in Canada, Google's actually pretty solid when it comes to their customer service and dealing with issues and replacing units, etc. I don't know what the process is for their Fold though, because it's not. What I mean by that is there's only so many Fold units that we know of out in the world right now. So do they even have stock to replace it with? Should
Probably
something
not.
go wrong?
They have to.
Right.
They have to allot so many.
You would have a back order, or you'd be like in the case of my Surface Duo when I tried to take it back to Best Buy. And that was through Geek Squad, right? It wasn't through the manufacturer's warranty, right? They just didn't have any. The only ones that had were in Canada, and they couldn't bring them in because Geek Squad doesn't work with Canada Best Buy. So they were just like, so they gave me a store credit for 18. Now I was hoping for the cash because I was going to turn around and buy one off a swap maybe or something. But that wasn't the plan. The policy was if they couldn't refund it, they would give you store credit. They gave me dollar for dollar what I paid for it, including the device I traded in, which happened to be an OG Duo. And it was fine. I bought a computer with it and saved the rest and did other stuff. So, you're going to have failures. And Greg, like Michael Pepper texts says, Greg had 3 Fold units that broke before he got a good one. Well, the only reason you know about is because he's a YouTuber.
Right.
You may not. There may be thousands of people that didn't. I still have my Flippy Dippy, my Flip 4. I haven't had a problem with it.
Flippy Dippy.
Well, going back to reviews though. The biggest thing I say about the reviews is the battery isn't stellar, which was kind of expected, especially if you're using the inside. But there was a guy, I'm not going to mention any names. There was a YouTuber who actually compared the Pixel Fold to the iPhone 14 and ripped apart the Pixel Fold. And I'm thinking it's not even the same device. And so I posted a little thumbnail and said my next review is going to be the Pixel Fold versus the Lamborghini because the Lamborghini is just so much better. It's hands down. But it's people like faster. That. What was that?
It's a lot faster.
I don't know that G2 though. I don't know.
The G2. You know what the problem is with the G2? It sounds like an energy drink. Every time someone says G2, I feel like they're talking about Gatorade or whatever thing.
Darren, just call it Tensor 3. That's what you just.
There you go.
Make Darren happy. Just call it Tensor.
Well, man, if it had been the Tensor 3, I maybe would have fought a little harder to import it. But see, we've had this conversation before about the G2. And there's nothing wrong with the G2. And people that have a Pixel 7, I have a Pixel 7 Pro right here next to me. Nothing wrong with it. Love it. No problems.
Right.
Is it shit on thermals? Absolutely. Is it shit on battery? 100%. Will it be better in the Fold? I don't know. And I think long term we might see with the Pixel Fold that the same issues that we have in the 7 Pro might pop up on the Fold.
Well, let me ask you this:
yeah.
is the Pixel Fold having a Tensor? I'll say Tensor 2. Is that going to make you not want to buy? Or let me say, so you want a Pixel Fold? Is that going to keep you from getting the new Pixel 8 when it comes out with the 3?
You know, you read my mind. So
because it's only a couple months away.
Here's the dilemma, right? So you may have seen this. I'll just pull this up. So obviously we're starting to see leaks.
Yes.
And right now we do have a leak of the Pixel 8.
Someone left it in a bar stool again.
A leak of a Pixel device? That's
crazy. I know.
Crazy.
How did that happen?
Wild.
So
crazy.
Pixel 8 or 8 Pro is assumingly flat screen,
Pro, I think, yeah.
which is impressive. I think the flat screen might be a fucking game changer.
Matte finish. It's a matte finish. Come on.
Matte finish on the back. You know what that looks like? A 2D case. You know, like the
sort of.
Yeah, it looks a little bit like that. I don't know if that's black at the top, the two-tone. Like it looks like they're going back to the two-tone, or is that
it's a demo device, so it might not have the right back end on it anyways.
Yeah, but I mean, it looks pretty much like a Pixel, except for the flat screen.
Looks nice. Looks nice.
So, I mean, the question is, right? I mean, like you said, Tuna, do you buy the Fold now and go, fuck the Google Pixel 8 Pro?
I can't say that.
Yeah, see? Or do you say, I wait, see if this is as good as it's cracked up to be. If not, do I just go for the Pixel Fold? Because you want to be on that bleeding edge of whatever, right? I don't know. It's one of those things, right? It's what do? Do you wait or do you kind of go all in? Because if you're going all in,
just wait till the 8 comes out. If you don't like it, go for the Fold then. I mean, it may still be back order, maybe be back in stock, maybe be cheaper, maybe it'll be on sale.
Well,
they're quite different devices.
You have to if you're gonna go now, you have to assume that the Tensor 3 is improved thermals, improved battery life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because if you're saying improved performance, there's no way you could tell. If I gave you a Pixel 8 and threw a G2 in it, if you were looking at straight performance, I don't think you're going to see much of a difference. You might see a Geekbench score go up a couple hundred points, but I have an OG Duo. It's buggy on an 855. You had the 888 in a Surface Duo 2, and the only reason it looks a little better is because they optimize a little bit more and it has a 90 hertz refresh rate. Yeah. But I guarantee you that 855, I use my Duo still. It's 3 years old. And I don't have a performance problem. I have just a general software issue with the phone because it just still has bugs in it. But as far as the 855 chip is old, and it still holds up. I think thermals, yes. If you're worried about thermals,
that's the thing.
How pissed are you going to be if Tensor G3 isn't much better? Everybody's thinking it's going to be Gen 1 to Gen 2 better, right? On the Snapdragon side, it may not be.
Well, what we know so far about the 8 Pro, so if you look at just up on the screen here, it looks like you're going to have the same 12 gigs of DDR5 RAM, 128 gigabytes of storage, which I find bizarre.
256 or 128? What'd you say?
Well, it says 128 here on this prototype that you see here. So it seems as though you've got a 50 megapixel Samsung main camera with, I guess, a bigger sensor or letting in more light. 64 megapixel ultra wide Sony camera. Bigger battery. No, sorry, still the same size battery. So 5,000 mAh battery, but it looks like they're bumping up the charging speed to 27 watts as opposed to 23.
It's better than nothing.
I mean, I'm sorry, that is still unacceptable.
It is.
Yes,
I'm not giving Google a pass on that. No.
So here's my thing though. 128, 12 gigs of RAM. I know there's a big complaint now, like, minimum should be 256. The new iPhones are going to have 5, whatever. To me, I have 128 on a lot of phones, and I don't ever overuse it. But then again, I use the cloud a lot. Like I have Google Photos. I pay for Google One.
Yeah, I do.
A lot of the newer phones, though, come with, like, I think the Honor Magic started at 256 or 512 when it came out. So I mean,
I think if you play quite a few games and stuff, like games take up a lot of storage. If you shoot a lot of video, you need the storage.
Yeah, but
otherwise you're okay.
The entry price of that phone is going to be what? Maybe $800. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, you're looking at S23 is going to maybe a couple $100 more. So I don't know.
I don't know. If you look at the photo here, that looks like a massive fucking camera sensor, like dead center.
Yeah. It's new.
It's definitely not what we have on the Pixel 7 Pro. It doesn't, or maybe that's not the right housing. I don't know, but it looks fucking enormous.
Yeah,
like
it's all looks.
Yeah, and
it's like the Asus.
Front, why not just offer 512, have one SKU? That's it.
Yeah.
It makes it easy.
Nobody's going to complain about having a terabyte, right? They don't have a terabyte. Everybody's going to complain about maybe a 128 and maybe a 256. Just make it just do what Moto does, right? 512, you have one pixel line. You have one pixel. 512, this chipset. Have a Pro, same chipset, 512. Be done with it. No problem. Nobody's going to sit there and complain. Then you have one SKU, right? You're handling one SKU in your inventory, and that's all you've got. Makes everybody happy. Yeah, you lose a little bit of money, but now you're not sitting on a bunch of lower storage models or whatever, or higher storage models because you want to charge a lot of extra money, and people are like, screw it. I'll save the $50 or the $800 and just get the 128 because I don't need the storage, right? Just make it one across the board. Make it simple. I don't know why companies don't do that. There's got to be a reason that I don't know of, but it's just
it's funny, it's funny that you say that, Sam, because I was just reading an article this morning and I was saying that with the iPhone 15 launch, they're still keeping the Pro models with the faster refresh rate, which means that we could be looking again at the base model iPhones coming in at 60 hertz, which would be fucking insane to me. Like in 2023, 2024, who's going to go and pick up a base model iPhone when almost every other smartphone on the market today is 90 hertz or more?
Pretty much everybody that doesn't care.
Ask an iPhone user, ask any of these people who are in their 20s about refresh rate. They're not going to know what you're talking about.
My other half doesn't. My other half doesn't. And mum doesn't. They both bought iPhone 14s.
My wife doesn't have a clue. Could care less.
They just don't care.
They just don't care, and then Apple knows that. And trust me, if their users were clamoring for higher refresh rate screens, and they know, I guarantee you they would do it. But every person I work at, where I'm at, they're all younger people, right, under between the ages of 16 and 25, right, 28. None of them have an Android device, and I guarantee you, none of them have I mentioned. Would you like that phone better when the iPhone 15 came out if it had a 90 hertz refresh rate or 120? They'd be like, what the fuck is a refresh rate? They have no idea what you're talking about. They don't care.
Yeah.
And everybody, and I tell people, I have these conversations and chats with people, yeah, they do. No, they fucking don't. Nobody does. Get out of the bubble that is the tech space. Tech heads care.
Right.
95% of people who are just out there buying devices, especially Apple users, they just want the newest iPhone. If it happens to be nicer, great. If it has a better battery or nicer camera housing or a little better software or better battery life or gives them some improvements, right? But again, sometimes I would argue that a lot of iPhone people upgrade their phones just because it's the newer one, because they make so much a differentiation between how they look. You'll know that you have the peasant iPhone from last year.
Well, and a lot of people do it on that schedule. Like my brother has Pixels, but he waits every 2-3 years when he's eligible to get the upgrade. So I like a lot of iPhone users have older phones. Then as soon as they're able to get that 14, 15, 16, whatever it is going to be, they do that
some
too.
People have those upgrade schedules. They're on a 12-month, and they're just so used to doing it over the last 3 or 4 cycles. It's just Now, and even if you told them it was almost basically the same phone, I think they would still do it just because they don't want to be the person that doesn't, like, all their friends have the newer iPhone, and they're 3 years behind, and now they're, you know what I mean? So it's a different mindset. It's a different approach to mobile handsets, right? It just is. Apple users have a different thought, and most of their users just aren't that interested in that, basically.
Yeah, just kind of getting back to, I know Mike's in the chat here, and he's just saying that most Android users don't even change the default settings. So, like, for example, I think the Pixels default at 1080p, which, again,
I think most people don't know about them. They don't know about
Samsung devices too. They always ship at 1080p.
Yeah, but do you really when you switch from 1080p to 1440 on one of those phones, do you really see that big of a difference? I think I know it's like Sony. Now, granted, I'm not trying to dump on Sony, but they have a 4K screen, which is beautiful if you're watching a 4K HDR movie. But it's really not that much different than 1440 or 1080. But it's I can say I got a 4K.
Well, I think
screen.
it runs 1080p most of the time anyway. But,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan, how are you liking that new Xperia?
It's nice. It's nice. Yeah.
Really? It's like what is this? Ask the British guy the questions. Like, so you asked Dan about, do you like the Sony Xperia?
I like that. That's nice.
No. And do you guys celebrate the 4th? Yeah. Right.
Oh, I know. I
It is green. It is green. It might not look it, but it's green.
That's a nice looking color.
I know Dan just got the phone, Sam. That's why I thought I would ask him. Hey, I know he just got it this week, Dan?
Last week. Yeah.
So I had to duck out for like 2 seconds because I got a really bad phone call. But over the weekend, my wife has a Ford, and it's got the notorious let's dump some coolant in one of the cylinders and have it misfire and blow the engine up. So we just found out it's about $7,000 to replace a 1.5 liter. I said, Ford told me they're going to cover 80% of it, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, maybe. But like I said,
then I'm going to trade it in and sell it.
I had a dealership tell me the same thing on an 06 Camry. They said it'd be $8,000. I said, no, I found a Camry Solara engine, had a guy drop it in for $2,500.
Right.
New radiator, the whole 9 yards. So that's not true.
But while I was on that phone call, I was going to talk about the Zen phone. You guys were talking about the lenses on the new Pixel 8 looks really big. Yeah. Well, if you look at the Zen phones, those camera lenses are like the size of, I don't know what, a fist. I mean, they're huge, but they're actually not that.
It's just a lens like this. It's actually a fist.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the Oppo Reno 8 Pro, where the lens
looks like
massive.
Yeah, it looks just like the new OnePlus Nord 3 or whatever too. They look identical. Yeah. And what it is, it's actually the same sensors as last year, and it's like the IMX 766 or something that's been used in multiple mid-range phones over the last few years. Now, I'm not trying to knock. Look at Google; they can use an old sensor and use their magic. Honestly, though, this is a very incremental upgrade to their last year. But I loved last year's. And this year they put in wireless charging, which I know is not a big deal. But for me, I like to just set it down sometime when I'm at work and let it charge. I'm actually interested in this. Does anybody else have say it's a small phone if you like small form factors?
I think it's a great option.
It's definitely a great option. I love the look of it. I always have loved the look of Zen phones.
Headphone jack.
Woo. Yes, headphone jack, and it's got a nice screen for the size. Decent battery life, but it's got the Gen 2, which is going to be more efficient anyways.
I think the only thing it really compromises on, as you say, is the cameras, which they'll still do the job.
And they're subjective, because Michael, Captain 2.
Yeah, it's great.
Who was it? Was it Captain 2 phone? One of those guys did a review and said, the cameras just aren't there. But, they're talking to go back to Sam, they're in the tech space and they're comparing thousands of phones. It's like when you go to a store and you compare 100 TVs next to each other, you're going to see ones that look better. But if you take it home, you're not going to know any better.
So, I know in Canada maybe it's different. I know in the UK it's obviously not. But if again, I'm interested in this because I'm in the space, right?
Right.
If this isn't sold in the U.S. carrier store, who cares?
Well,
in the United States. Well, you do. You'll be one of like 5 people you'll ever, and I guarantee it. And I've only seen one other person have a Duo in the wild, and most of the people every once in a while I see somebody has a OnePlus, and that's like a big deal. Like if I see somebody with a OnePlus device, I'm like, whoa, right? And then because you say, hey, that But I mean, like all these phones are great. We're interested in them, but nobody's going to buy this in the U.S. because it's not going to be available. I don't even think you can buy it in a Best Buy. So you either have to go to Asus's website or gray market it somehow, right? And
I know I think it's on.
Sucks, man.
I think it's on Amazon right now. Don't quote me on that. No, it's not.
So it's not available in the U.S. yet. It's only available in the U.K. Globally, not in the U.S. yet. Not till like Q3, whenever that is.
Right.
But it starts at like $799, $750 ish, and it doesn't seem like a bad phone. But like Sam said, it's not going to be widely. You're right. It's not going to be widely known. And you think it's funny?
I can buy it in Canada. I'm just saying, I can buy that fucking phone.
I could buy it in the U.S. and have it shipped from anywhere overseas. But I'm just saying it'll be available here soon enough. Yeah, but it's funny when Sam goes, you see someone with a OnePlus. I can't remember I was at a restaurant. And I go, oh my God. I bumped my wife and said, look, that guy's got I think it was a OnePlus or a Fold. She goes, what the hell's that?
Yeah.
Like, why are you telling me?
I mean, and here's and make it even. And you want even a better thought experiment. Go into any carrier store and bring in a device like that. They won't know what it is.
No.
They go, what is that? And they're like, an Asus Zenfone. They're like, never heard of it. Yeah. Well, of course. And these people work in a space where they sell mobile handsets. Even they don't know. So it's like, again, all this stuff is great, but if for the United States market, they sell them at Best Buy. But in the U.S. market, if it's not at a carrier store, it will not sell. And even if it's at a carrier store, like the
no one's going to
Pixel,
know about it.
it still won't sell as much as an Apple device or a Samsung device.
Well, just getting back to what Dan said there. So it's funny, like with the Xperias, they used to sell Xperias here in stores. They used to sell them on Amazon. They used to sell them in a lot of like Best Buy. You can't find an Xperia in Canada anymore.
Oh, really? You can give them in the U.S. I mean, you can go on like Best Buy. Actually, they'll even have them. One time I did see one of the Xperias, I think it was the 10-3. They actually had it on display with all the unlock devices, like the Motos and some of the. And then if you go to their website, you can get a Pro I. You could have got the 5.4, the 1.4. But again, when you see the price, it's like they don't mark them down, right? You see $1,350, you're like, oh, right? And then you look below it, you see this. Oh, there's the S23, which I've heard of. That's $800 or $700. Again, and that's another thing. Assuming people are going to Best Buy and buying phones off contract just straight up, Americans generally don't do that as a rule.
Yeah,
they just don't. I mean, unless they're buying maybe like a Moto, right? If you're buying like a Moto, like the G Stylus or something like that.
Yeah.
Moto G Power for like $150, $200. Yeah, you'd probably pick one.
Or this stupid cheap Razer thing.
Yeah. So it's just a shame because for people like us who really would like to see these phones really get traction because they all do offer. This is a great little mini form factor. It does a lot of things right. It's got probably a pretty solid price point. It looks pretty cool. It's just in the U.S., it's just not going to get any traction just because it's just not available for people to see. They just don't know it exists.
And it really bothers me because I posted I want to sell my Honor, but I don't want to. Like I was messing with a couple other phones, and if that was offered in the U.S., it wouldn't go anywhere. But it's got everything you need. It's got a great screen, great speakers, fantastic. Best cameras I've had since the Pixel.
Well, because it's a Huawei, essentially, technically.
Technically, yeah, but they separated. Yeah. Make sure you...
Right.
Yeah.
They're not the same.
Right, it's an Acura, right? It's the Acura to a Honda, right? Yeah, it's not... Or when Datsun changed the name to... they changed it from Datsun to Nissan because Nissan, they said Datsun in the 70s because it didn't sound Japanese as much. So that's why they changed it to Datsun. Seriously, that's all it was. Yeah. You'll see a Datsun 240Z. It's a Nissan 240Z. They just rebranded it because Americans in the 70s didn't want to buy a Japanese car because they didn't want to, right? So they called it Datsun until they finally said, nobody's going to buy it.
They actually do that here in Canada. So there's an Australian car company called Holden.
Yeah.
Well, we know Holden. That's Australian.
Yeah.
They're Australian, aren't they?
They're Australian. Oh, yeah.
Heck yeah.
Some of the models of the Holden. So Holden, I'm not sure if Holden's still a brand. I don't think they're still around. I think they were bought out. But some of their models of cars were actually branded as Pontiacs. So a lot of
that's what they are. They're GM. Yeah.
It's a GM product,
Yeah.
But Pontiac doesn't exist anymore, so...
No, neither does Saturn, neither does Oldsmobile. It's like...
Sad.
So even look, and it's funny, look at that even in the car space.
Yes.
You see that kind of like... And look at Ford. Ford no longer sells sedans. They sell SUVs, trucks, and the only car they sell is the Mustang still. That's it. Yeah. Even Ford.
But that's exactly kind of what what happens in the car world is actually very funny than what happens in the tech world, right? Like you said, like it's this parity there, right? Like you're gonna brand like a phone like the Honor phone, which the Magic 5 Pro 2 and I both had the phone. I foolishly sold mine, and I wish I hadn't. But what I will say about the Honor is that that phone is one of the very first phones outside of Google or Samsung or Apple that I actually thought legitimately could be a player in the smartphone space in the US and in Canada.
Yeah.
Like it's a very well-built device. It's great cameras, great battery, great screen. It checks all the boxes. But again, because it's connected with Huawei or has some affiliation with Huawei, whether it's not anymore or down the line, no carrier in the Canada or the US is going to pick that phone up and say, okay, let's do it. I know in the UK, Dan, how big are Honor?
Not very. I mean, you've got Oppo, even Oppo and Xiaomi are ahead of them here.
Right, okay.
What, isn't Oppo leaving? Isn't Oppo leaving the UK, Europe and everything like that?
Sort of, yeah. They don't really say what they're doing, but a lot of the reps and stuff are being let go and whatnot. I've seen them on LinkedIn and stuff all saying bye, essentially.
Oh, okay.
But they're not really letting on. I mean, they've just had to settle. I don't know if it was in India they had to settle to do with the Nokia patent. Paid out a fortune, which is all to do with why they won't bring the X6 Pro here.
Yeah.
So there's something still going on with it. I don't know what they're going to do, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, and it's just a shame because that really is something that I think, Darren, to your credit, is if that was available and people could pick it up, it offers a really solid option for people.
100%.
And I think, honestly, if you had people at a carrier store talking about it, I think, let's say you didn't know about the Huawei thing, right? If it just was on its own.
Right.
I think you could really probably move some units on that thing, especially for people who are looking in the Android space. Absolutely. Especially when you see the camera output. When those things, the cameras, I mean, especially how people like the cameras and stuff. I like Honor. I mean, I love my Huawei. I still kept my P30. I'm not selling it.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
care.
Beautiful.
Even if somebody offers me $500 for it, I'm still not getting rid of it.
Well, it's not free of its issues. I mean, no camera system on any phone I've ever had is perfect. One thing I will say about Honor is it's I have the European version, and I have it on T-Mobile. I have not put my AT&T SIM in it because I'm scared if I do. Like in the past, I put in a device that wasn't sold here. They shut down my entire account, and I had to call them back.
Well, it's funny. So I put my AT&T SIM in my P30. It's never been on their whitelist. I literally get a text message from an automated one from AT&T that said this phone is not supported. It's never not worked.
Yeah, I get that too now.
I have no idea why. Yeah. And it's like, but I've done it. But then I took one of the AT&T branded 1520s. I put a SIM in it. I got to call AT&T and then unlock. They shut the phone down.
I think part of it is whitelisting, but it also has to do with the Wi-Fi calling and all that kind of.
Yeah. So I just think it's funny. I always get that message every time I put in my P30. It doesn't work on our network. I was like, well, I'm going to use it anyway. I don't care.
Speaking of Chinese phones, Darren, I'm not sure where you were going. But I just saw that Red Magic is going to release an 8S Pro and a gaming tablet. Now, the 8S Pro is supposed to have the 8 Gen 2 Plus or the Plus, the incremental overclocked version. And then the gaming tablet's going to be like a 12.1-inch tablet with an 8 Gen 1, the Plus Gen 1, and like 24 gigs of RAM. I mean, it's crazy.
It's a gaming
device.
I
did see that.
I think that's where if you're going to throw RAM behind it, might as well be a gaming,
specific
gaming-centric device. Yeah, absolutely.
And that phone's supposed to have 24 gigs of RAM.
Might as well, man. Throw it all
insane.
out there.
24 gigs of RAM in a phone.
Throw it out there.
Yeah, well, I will tell you this.
Just buy the 8 Pro.
I'm all for it.
I've had every Red Magic for the last 5 or 6 years, and the worst thing about them is their software, but it's gotten progressively better. The only issue is support.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's the same with the Honor. The Honor, I've gotten a few updates, but I don't know how often I'm going to get those. Like even with the Motorola Razr, it's still on the May security update, and I haven't got any updates on it.
Shit, I bought the Moto that had the Moto 22. I guess the Mate 30 or whatever it is, the Edge Plus 2022. Okay.
Yeah.
I bought it. It had I bought it on April 7th. The only reason I know is because I got the phone. I always do an update. It got a February patch, and then had a February patch all the way to like mid-June when I finally sold the device. It never got an update in that.
Well, they're saying they're going to support them.
Other month. Yeah, well, and that's fine. And here's the thing I tell people. What's more important is get the Android OS. That's really more important because here's the thing. If you're not sideloading a bunch of apps and everything you're downloading is from the Play Store and you're usually right down the line, you could probably rock a phone with an older security update. Unless you're going rogue. I mean, it's
right.
I mean, if you're within a year and 18 months, you're probably okay. If you're sideloading and doing all sorts of wacky stuff, yeah, I would suggest making sure you have it up to date.
Yeah, but my iPhone 4 is still running iOS 17.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
And you have hair.
I did.
One.
15 years ago, I did.
Right. That's when that iPhone got its first update.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's actually a true story, but Tuna used to have long flowing locks that were like a big long ponytail.
Hey, they were verging on like curly.
Oh, well, there you go. Can we see a photo, Tuna? Have you got a photo of you with hair?
That's gonna cost some money.
My hair used to go curly as well.
Yeah.
Wow. Justin Timberlake, aka early 2000s, huh?
Right. Never been curly, but
not that curly.
Only when it was wet outside.
That humidity will get you, Sam. Be careful.
Humidity got me, made my hair all frizzy.
Actually, you know what? It's funny that you say that because I actually have a photo here of Tuna with hair. Hang on.
Oh, here we go. It's Fabio, right?
It's probably
Justin Timberlake from 2001.
So this is actually legit photo of Tuna.
Now, my hair wasn't... Okay, I didn't say whatever that is, a perm.
I mean... I mean, I don't know how old this photo is. I actually think this one here is probably more your style. Just 1 second, sorry.
So look, hey, just a quick story. So when I first started losing hair, I thought maybe I should shave it all off. And I went to a barber, and she was cutting my hair, and she goes, "You'd look really, really good with no hair." And my wife, she was my girlfriend at the time, said she gave me a dirty look, like, of course you'd listen to her. So that night I went home and shaved my head and never had hair since. So.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I mean, this is a bit of a more recent photo. He's a bit more facial hair there.
Okay.
And,
what's with the shirt? I don't think I'd wear something like that. I'm just throwing that out there.
This is actually straight from.
Yeah.
Especially because it's not like cloth; it looks silky. It's like,
yeah, that's nothing I would wear ever from 1972. Sorry.
Right.
So Tuna's private collection is where that's coming from.
Oh.
Okay, so changing gears now. I don't know if you guys have heard about this giant Las Vegas sphere that has been kind of catching people's attention. So
you mean the Final Fantasy X Blitzball Stadium?
Yes, the MSG and Sphere Entertainment collab. That's basically a Sphere, that dome venue, 17,600 seat venue at the Venetian Resort. But what makes it interesting is that the entire dome is wrapped in 16K LED screens.
I know, that's amazing.
So I'm just gonna, I'll kind of just, for the people at home that are
it just
watching,
looks nuts,
dude. And
just
so we're clear, hashtag Blitzball should be real.
Yes.
Just saying.
That thing is amazing.
Is fun.
That's just so fucking awesome.
Dude, no offense. I'm not saying that I don't know this from personal experience. So I preface this statement by saying I'm not saying this because I know. I'm saying, can you imagine sitting on a balcony and be like kind of high or tripping out and seeing that? Dude, I think your head would literally cave in. It would implode like the Titan. So it was what I mean. If you saw that, you'd be like, "It looks like it's moving." Even though
it does.
It looks like it's moving across the landscape. It isn't, but it's like, dude, it's
so you said 16K screens?
Aliens are attacking.
16K screens covering.
Dude, if aliens look down there, you're like, okay, this place is way too weird.
Yeah,
so do you guys
leave?
Do you guys get a lot of emails in your email box about, hey, a deal here, a deal there? I got an email from B&H Photo a couple days ago, and it was for a 8K. Like a 320-inch screen for $1.2 million. I didn't know BH Photo sold those, and I seriously wanted to just put it in my box and see what the shipping would cost on that.
Oh, damn.
Would it be free?
Every time I see Hello World, it's just, that's a programming thing, right?
Jesus, that thing is crazy.
Hello World.
It looks. I mean, I know this is just promotional stuff that you're seeing on screen now, but it looks fucking amazing.
Could you please you got to take us down, though, because that's my backyard. I don't want to get anybody coming to my house.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. Imagine watching porn on that. Jesus Christ.
You wouldn't see the whole thing. You'd have to run around it.
Only Karen would look at that and see it right in the middle of Vegas and go, dude, we should put X,
Listen, I promise you, the guy who's in charge of programming what goes on this screen has gone, I wonder what porn would look like on there. Someone on there has done that, right? But I mean, this is like what you see now, like the fireworks.
Yeah, but just put a big eyeball on it.
I think it's cool to have like a snow globe. That would be cool.
Oh, during the wintertime?
Even though it's snow globe. Yeah, even though it's the desert and it won't snow in Vegas ever. But, it'd be having like a snow globe or like looks like the Saturn. Yeah, I don't know.
I like this. The Disney look here that they're going for is pretty fucking
cool.
rad.
I mean, I get, but what are they doing with it? Is it just so that we can look at it or are they actually going to put
So the idea is that it's a venue for like a concert venue. Now I don't know what they're planning on doing, but basically it's meant to be like a 4D movie theater sensory experience.
That looks cool.
Yeah, but how you? Oh, whatever.
So basically,
even though it's going the wrong direction, but that's okay.
Well, the funny thing is, right? So
it's going that way. Nah.
So September 29th is the first performance. Which band is playing in there first? I'm going to give you
Wild Stallions. It's Bill and Ted. This is it. No. This is where it happens right here, man.
Massive, world-known, multi-generational
Taylor
band.
Swift, right?
First of all, that's giving me a headache. That
Coldplay.
crinkly stuff.
Not Coldplay, but in the
U2?
U2.
Yeah, I see. U2 always does this kind of stuff.
God.
They're doing a 25-night show run.
That's what I saw. I saw a little video that I saw this. This is like totally, I got a Final Fantasy vibe from this.
Dude, that thing looks creepy.
Man.
Okay, so second game we're going to play right now. How much did it cost to make? You get one guess.
$2.5 billion.
Tuna?
Oh, man. I I'd say 1 billion.
I'm going for 10 billion.
So clocking in at, Sam, you were the closest, $2.3 billion to have this, the cost to make this 16K.
I only had 2 billion, so I couldn't build it. Damn. So close.
So I mean, like I like the idea. I think it is something to see, right? It's Vegas.
Cool, isn't
it's
it?
showy.
It is cool.
But just looking at what the capability is too, right?
So can I build a miniature version of that for my house?
Absolutely.
That'd be great.
You just go buy a couple of shitty Prime Day TVs from Amazon and fucking duct tape them together.
So, is the inside going to have the same kind of thing going on? Like if you're at a concert,
that's a good question.
When you sit in the middle and you look it up, you can kind of see stars and this kind of stuff going on.
Here's my question, right? So let's just assume U2's playing inside this thing, which I fucking hope that's the case, not outside. But U2's playing inside. What do you see on the outside when U2 plays?
Well, they could sell tickets for people to sit in the parking lot and watch it from the outside.
Right, they could. I'm just curious if the inside has the same kind of screen so they can project videos or lights or wavy, trippy stuff. I don't know. It'd be cool if it's. I don't know if it's funny. It's funny they aren't showing the inside of the sphere. I noticed that it's very
who cares?
Devoid of that.
Look at the outside. It's all that matters.
Yeah, but if you're going to be in a concert, you're going to be sitting on the outside. It's like everybody's talking about what color's your car. Who gives a shit? You're sitting in the car. Who cares? You can't really see the color of your car. Everybody else can see the color.
I will say this much. Inside that sphere, there are 164,000 speakers. I'll say that again. 164,000 speakers.
Need a couple more.
So I don't know. It was funny. I'm just reading about it here, but there's some crazy stories and facts about this thing. 3,000 employees are needed to run the venue. I'm not sure why. It's meant to. So it can only hold about 20,000 people, but it doesn't say what you've seen on the inside. Ironically, here.
Yeah, there's nothing about the inside of the sphere.
Maybe they're not revealed it yet.
Maybe Tuna's right. Maybe they're just gonna blast on the outside video footage.
I'm wondering where the Formula One track is for this race in Vegas. Like,
in comparison, then
it'd be cool if they went like around the sphere a couple times, like a loop, and come back.
It's gonna trip them out, and they're just gonna crash.
Yeah, people are gonna be like, "Wow, look at that! Watch the road, jerk off!" Like, yeah, I'm sorry, it was cool. I couldn't help it. I looked up.
You don't think about that. You're driving through Las Vegas and you see this thing. Jesus, I'd probably hit a car.
Here's a fun fact for you. So they had to transport it in its disassembled state from Belgium. And it took 120 tractor-trailer cranes to transport it to Las Vegas.
So what's the labor cost?
Not sustainable at all.
Probably part of the 2.3 billion, I would assume.
Yeah. So
it's all recycled LEDs. They're all recycled LEDs.
People, turn off your stoves. We're just going to power this shit.
No.
Well, here's the funny thing is they put it right next to a major roadway. I mean, come on, man. You're begging for all the cops that are going, damn it. This is a 1050 making thing. Man.
The secret to the power of that thing is it's using Apple's adaptive charging, which is saving the whales. So they're actually really doing really well for themselves.
Hey, Siri, turn on the glow. I can't process your request.
It only charges from green sources.
We should have spent the extra $2.5 billion and got Cortana because that's available. No, it's not available. Okay.
That's a huge advertising sphere right there, too. You know how many companies could just advertise? That's a huge billboard. That's going to be a moneymaker. That guy's going to make that billions of dollars back within...
Oh, it's not a guy. I'm sure it's like a collaboration of...
Whoever, They're making some money back.
Speaking of collaborations, I don't know if you've seen this story gaining traction lately, but this week there's been a lot of talk of Zuckerberg versus
God,
Twitter
the fight.
overlord. Now, listen,
they're going to fight in that sphere.
The head of the UFC has come out and said, and I was watching a video of him just before. The head of the UFC, I forget his fucking name off the top of my head, but
Dana White.
Dana White. He came out and said that he's spoken to both of them.
Oh,
and I don't know how true this story is, but so he was saying that he talked to Zuckerberg, and I think of Zuckerberg to be a little bit of a pussy. If I'm being honest, if there's anyone that's out,
did you know
he trains
MMA? He trains.
Yeah, so he's training MMA, but I still consider him to be a bit of a pussy. But anyway, my point is when Dana White was saying when he called up Zuckerberg said, "Just name the place and time." Which I think is fucking badass, and I really love that. If that story is true, so do you think it's going to go ahead?
No.
Yes.
I actually think it might go ahead. I actually think this could happen.
Hot take. I could give two shits about this.
You wouldn't watch it, Sam. You would not watch it.
Not at all. I could care less of watch Zuckerberg and this guy fight it out. I could care less.
Meta versus Tesla? Oh, I gotta watch that.
First of all, these guys got what, $100 billion between them? I'll tell you right now. You could, if I had that kind of money, I'd pay people to punch each other in the face for that kind of money. I'm not getting a ring and risk any injury if I'm that rich. I'm not doing
Here's the
that.
problem. So most time when you do these fights, there's a big payout and there's a lot of advertising. But does Meta get paid or do they pay to advertise?
Like, right. They pay themselves?
Like, hey, could you put a commercial for our Quest 3 coming out this fall? And Tesla's going to be, hey, our new...
Maybe. But listen, maybe if they both sign up, maybe that's the deal. They both get to advertise equally on the night of.
Yeah, but, all money goes to charity.
All money goes to charity, which is what they say.
Right, because Tesla and Facebook have to advertise like nobody's heard of them. You mean there's like 5 people on Earth go, what is this Tesla? Who the fuck is Elon Musk? Facebook? Nobody. What is that?
Facebook.
What do you have to advertise anymore?
The big difference is Facebook Meta actually has hardware like Quest and all that stuff, and Tesla has
they need to ship
vehicles.
Some units.
And plus, I want Elon Musk to bring out his flame, not a flamethrower again, because I didn't get mine last time, and I really wanted one.
Amazing.
So,
advertise rockets.
You couldn't pay me to watch it.
Advertise rockets.
I'll give you my impression.
We have rockets.
Rocket.
What does Meta have? What does Meta have?
My impression of how that fight will go. Okay, it'll be like this.
Pointy.
Like this. This is my impression of them.
No, I'm telling you. I think I've seen some videos.
They're both actually quite good at this stuff. Apparently.
Yeah. So here is my take, right? So it's they're both is it jiu-jitsu they're trained in? I forget what.
It doesn't matter. They have plenty of money to train in whatever they want before the fight starts.
Right. They have enough money to make their own martial art at this point.
They're gonna have AI bots fight for each other.
You read my mind. I was just about to say. I think they should both train on an AI bot.
Yeah.
And have like a Sock'em robots match and just have
the head pops up. You got to push it back down.
Oh my god! Can you imagine? Has their face on the front with an LED screen? Can you imagine?
Meta, Elon, and Zuckerberg, if you're listening, take a page out of this right here.
Well, listen. I don't know.
Listening.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
My suggestion would be make it a triple threat match. So Tom Hardy, he's also trained in jiu-jitsu, right? So big Hollywood actor. I say you make it a triple threat match, throw them all in the fucking ring, the circle, whatever it's called, and just let them go to town.
No, you can't do that. So you got Tesla, you got Meta, you got to throw like someone from Google, someone from Tim Cook's got to go in there a little bit, like tag team. Like, oh, Elon, I need help.
Sundar Pichai. Hi.
Tim Cook comes in, starts slinging some iPhones. You got to do something like that.
What's the guy from Microsoft's name? What's that guy's name?
Oh, God.
Well, it depends. You got, Satya Nadella.
Yeah, that guy. That's the guy.
I would actually go for Balmer just because I'd like to see Balmer fight.
Dude, you have to go on YouTube.
Balmer dances after
Can you imagine?
Or Bill Gates.
Can you imagine?
Well, Bill Gates is too old. I don't think he can do
shit. Who cares?
I would love to see a tag team match like Balmer and Musk versus like Zuckerberg and the other.
Yeah, they should have tag teams with each of their local underlings, right? So you got Cook and Woz, right? Yep. And then you've got Bill Gates, or you got Satya, and he can go for a Balmer, and then Elon's got his own. Well, I don't know who else he can use. I don't know. He's probably a clone of Elon, another Elon.
Yeah, his wife. Bring his wife in there.
This is my cousin. Steve Musk. This is Steve Musk here. It's like he looks a lot like you. No, it's worked.
Called Noel.
Yeah. So let's assume the fight goes ahead. Who wins?
Zuckerberg.
Really?
Yeah,
I think he knows.
He's younger.
Here's the thing, if you're gonna do this right, Darren, you have to do a proper tail of the tape. You need to get
Elon's
height,
out of shape.
Weight,
Elon's out of shape.
Yeah.
Height, weight, reach.
Wingspan.
You need all that shit.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look this up.
Do a proper tail of the
Elon
tape.
Musk is bigger. He is definitely a bigger dude.
It depends how long they've got to train. Because Elon, I think if Elon's got time to train, he can
That's
do
true.
it.
Here we go. I'll pull it up on screen for you.
Bench press some Teslas.
You gotta do the tail of the tape. You need to know. So.
Okay, here you go. Ready? Here you go. Here's the details. Right there.
Oh.
Ooh.
God, 51.
6'1".
Musk has got the reach.
He Yeah, but
he's
Zuckerberg's younger and
150
faster.
pounds.
You can,
He's a lot
as long-
older though.
as
What-
long as you can dodge those hits.
Here's the thing on a Telltale. I guess what the hell doesn't matter where they're from. He's from Antarctica. Okay, great. He can fight. Yeah. What's
But
the
look,
net?
I mean,
What's that
if
mean?
you think about this for a second, Musk has got 145 pounds on Zuckerberg and more reach.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sure he's older.
Zuckerberg's all diesel.
No, I mean seriously.
He trains in the VR world.
where's
Let
the
me tell
reach?
you.
I don't see the reach. Is it in the actual?
Well, I'm
article?
assuming with the 6. I'm just going with the reach with the height based on the
He
height.
does have a
right?
bigger
So
reach, I believe.
Yeah, but what's
with-
net? 100.98 versus 245 net.
I think that's weight. That's weight.
Oh,
What
That's
the
his
hell
weight,
measure?
yeah.
Who says net? What is that?
so you mean
Well, I
tell
don't know.
me
It's
that
fucking TMZ. They're just going with it. But
It must
wait,
be from the
that's-
UK or
Zuckerberg's
something.
5'7" and 100 pounds? No fucking way. That's weight.
Yeah, he's tiny. Zuckerberg's
He's a-
tiny. That's
Dude,
that's
5'7"
well
is like 100 pounds. That's like a middle.
No,
tiny.
he's not 100 pounds.
He ain't 100 pounds.
Hang on.
Bullshit. I ain't.
Let
buying
me
that for 1
confirm.
second.
That's different weight. That's not pounds.
What is it? What is it? Like a heck? What is it? What's another for hog's head? Is what it is. Yeah. Right.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Hang on.
Yeah.
Got a
There's
better
no
one
way
here.
Zuckerberg weighs 101 pounds.
What the hell is that?
That's
Let me
even
zoom in.
worse.
Hang on.
Why has it got an Italian vibe? Neither one of these guys are Italian.
And they're all ripped, of course.
Right.
Okay, so
150,
this is,
yeah, 5'7", 154.
Okay,
He's
that's a
5.
bit better.
Now his name is 5'11". That's a big difference, man. That makes him a lot
Yeah.
closer in size.
Yeah, they're not that. Off
3 children.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
9 children? Is that what that says?
9 trillion.
Nine?
Yeah, that's Musk has 9 kids.
Dang, man, he's been busy.
And he
Brazilian
owns 7
Jiu-Jitsu versus
companies.
karate, taekwondo, and judo.
Yeah.
Is that because they can spell those words, or are they actually training all those things?
Do either of them have
He's done
girlfriends
that,
or
yeah.
wives named Adrian?
No. So,
No,
okay,
but
so based on,
let's list this: that Zuckerberg's fluent in Mandarin. That helps because that's going
That's
to be.
true.
So might as well throw it on there too.
his Asian trainer can help him get.
There's
you know,
something. There's some training regimen that Zuckerberg does. I can't remember what it was. They called it something. It must be pretty big. I don't know much about it because
I love how they get the Meta and the Twitter logos on their belts. That's kind of. I hope they do that. I hope they light up.
Well,
They actually have
Threads
trunks.
versus Twitter.
They have a little like
Okay.
a banner light that goes around that says "Hi, buy my shit." Right as they're fighting, that'd be kind of cool.
So what
Threads
is the
versus
when they're
Twitter.
walking down to the ring? What is Zuckerberg's song and what is Musk's song?
Oh, that's a good question.
Musk will
I
do
think
something
Musk would
stupid.
go something foreign. I'm thinking something Russian.
Something we've never heard of.
Something
It has to be
Something with
something we've never
something
heard
with vuvuzelas since he's
Yes.
South African.
Maybe like Rasputin.
And
He's South
Zuckerberg
African?
is going to come down to the "You're the Best" song from Karate Kid.
Oh, yes.
There
That's
you
what I would
go.
come down with.
Yeah.
You're the best. All right. Yeah, I'd totally do
Someone's got to do Eye of the Tiger. Come on.
that.
Yeah, I was
I
thinking
can't
that.
steal that. That's,
Musk,
yeah.
Musk ain't gonna steal that. He's gonna go with something just like I don't know, fucking maybe
Dave Matthews because they're South African.
Once again, yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
That'd be great.
Listen, I think it's a great idea. I think if it's for charity, why the fuck
Yeah,
not?
yeah.
Let's see a couple of tech guys beat the shit
There'll
out of
be
each
a
other.
It's for charity. They've got more wealth between them than the next 78 countries' entire GDP. They
Yeah.
can write a check for $1 billion.
Okay, so
Yeah.
here's a better question. Which one of them comes out with the mouth guard that says "I'm going to kill you" written on it?
No.
Oh my god.
It's gonna say he hate me. That's what it's gonna say. And,
Yeah.
I honestly, if you paid me, I would watch this for free. Don't care, and I'm sure as hell not paying for it. Just no.
I don't know. I wouldn't say I'd pay for it, but I would if it was free. I'd watch it. But you know
Well, how do you
damn
think
well it
else-
ain't gonna be
I mean,
free.
they're gonna, of course, they're gonna pay for it, pay per view,
Yeah,
because that's how they're gonna
pay-per-view.
take that money. Now, if they take all that money and donate it to some charity, that's cool. But you're not getting my money. I don't care.
I don't know.
I just don't care about this. I guess I just don't give a shit.
I just find it so bizarre that it's built up so much now. Like when you've got Dana White talking about it, like Dana White talks about a lot of shit, but when he's on news and all these talk shows saying this actually legitimately could happen, I'm actually starting to pay attention now.
It's about being relevant. It's all over Twitter, all over social media. They've got to talk about it. I don't think it would ever happen.
Well, I think if it did, I wouldn't care. I actually, what's funny is Elon Musk could talk about sitting down and learning how to do, needlepoint, and people would watch it because it's Elon Musk doing needlepoint. I mean, there are people that are so. I've had people who are not Tesla owners, but other people. They talk about this guy like he is literally I haven't. It's kind of frightening how they revere this dude. It's
Musk?
scary. Yeah,
really?
God, yeah.
He's not a stupid guy. Obviously, he's got $1 billion for a reason.
He's not a stupid guy. I'm not saying he's stupid, but I mean,
no.
I
you know what?
I know this dude. You don't know this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, you act like you know him. He's like, you don't.
Well, here, let me give him a call real quick and see what he wants to do.
He'd be like, "What's up, Tuna? I'm training for the fight. What do you got?"
Yeah, he's gonna fall back on me at first.
I was just calling to see if you still need me to bring over that baked ziti that I made for you last week. You know?
I like some baked ziti, but South African baked ziti, I don't know.
No, it's just do it.
Just baked ziti.
Am I the only one who didn't know that Musk was South African? Because I had no fucking.
I didn't know that. No.
I knew he was foreign. I just didn't know where from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys know that Zuckerberg was American? I thought he was like from space, like from Mars
American.
or something.
It's
American.
Lizard man.
What'd you say, Dan?
He's a lizard man. That's what they always say. He's a lizard man.
Yes.
Some sort of alien.
It was not a good look. That congressional hearing.
He's expressionless most of the time.
That did not go well at all.
Any hearing, those. Oh, I don't want to go there. That's That's a whole other hour of talking right there.
No. It's whatever.
I'll do a little fun way to end out the show here. This is a little bit of some art, because I know we know he's
there we go.
Nice. Looking, foreign looking there, but
see, it's true.
Listen, I don't know about you guys, but I love it when we can end
actual photo.
True, this is true. Yeah, I love it when we can end a tech broadcast, a tech podcast, talking about two, tech giants getting into a UFC ring. Like, how often does that happen?
Right.
Not very often, that's for sure.
Very rarely.
Mike said it. He said that Dan thought he said lives with mum, not lizard man.
It's just the accent.
He probably does live
with
mum.
Ignore the accent. It's fine.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Tuna should do the voices of the fight.
No, who's the guy who does the Let's Get Ready to Rumble?
That's Michael Buffer.
For
a show, you guys don't know a lot of stuff. Why am I always who's the guy that does this and who's the guy that did that? That's Michael Buffer.
Man, that's why you're on the show, buddy.
I have my notes.
I'm literally 22 years old. How am I supposed to know this stuff?
Yeah, Michael Buffer.
Literally.
Okay, well, listen, guys, thank you very much for being on tonight's TNT podcast. Sam, Tuna, Dan, always a pleasure. And we will be back again next week. Thank you for tuning in to our special post-Independence Day broadcast this week. But normally we're on Sunday nights. You can catch us there on the next one. And don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button. Check out all of our respective websites, YouTube channels, and everything in between for some great content. And guys, thank you very much. And we will catch you all on the next one.
Peace.
Thank you.
Peace out, guys.
Hello.